Well, this case has certainly seen its fair share of negative media attention, and I actually believe that the negative attention was due to a faulty case, because I'm not experiencing the same level of negativity with this case as the other reviewer has. In fact, I think this is one of the most innovative cases that I've come across in quite a long time. The amount of water cooling possibilities and features that this case has is incredible, and it also allows for very unique builds because of the tremendous amounts of customization that you can do with the layout of this case. You don't like your power supply up the top? That's okay. Let's just remove it. We'll stick it in down the bottom, and then we'll move the motherboard tray all the way up. Right now in this current layout, I could fit a 240mm radiator up the top next to this power supply shroud. But hey, if I wanted to fit a 420mm radiator up the top there, then I can change this layout around. In any single layout, I can also fit a 420mm radiator beside the motherboard tray there, and down the bottom we can fit up to a 360mm radiator unless we bring the power supply shroud down the bottom. Airflow from first glance of this case looks to be pretty good. The back has these large perforated areas with big cutouts, and that follows through down the bottom there. Personally, I would have liked to have seen the bottom just completely cut out, because I think that having no restriction of oil is better, especially when this is going to be hidden once you put your fans in. And also the rear panel of the case, I would have liked to have seen maybe this same cutout on there instead of the holes that are real small. Would have let a little more air in as well, considering that the front of the case wraps around all in glass and doesn't let air in at all. But you will also notice that this case is actually standing up higher than most cases too, so you have a lot more clearance for fresh air to come in through the bottom there. Now guys, we don't actually have to worry about ease of access into the build as well, so the glass panel here is actually on a hinge. Means you can easily reach in and build your PC. A lot of the panoramic view cases actually come with a glass panel that does not remove at the front unless you go in and fiddle around with it. You have to undo a bunch of screws. So it's just on hinges, makes it nice and easy. You will also notice that the two glass panels, they actually meet up seamlessly because both pieces of glass are chamfered at a 45-degree angle. Makes it look nice and clean. Coming to the rear of the case, everything is about hinges. So we have our cable hiding tray, which you can also mount SSDs to. You could actually flip this open, flip it around like that, and it magnetically clips in place, and it actually blocks off this radiator section beside the motherboard if you aren't using it. We also have another hard drive and SSD tray, which can simply hinge open like that. Gives you access to cables, and the back of the motherboard tray, which you can see has plenty of tie down points. There's also 61mm worth of clearance as well at the back for your cables. Such a unique case. It deserves some real high-end hardware inside, because we really need to stress test this. Let's get into it. If you are sick of this watermark and not being able to utilize all of Windows features, then head on over to whokeys.com. Purchase a Windows 10 Pro key for $16 or a Windows 11 Pro key for $22. Use my code IFR25 for 25% off with loads of payment methods. Copy your code from the user center and paste it here to activate. They also provide you with a step-by-step guide and 24-hour support. Well, last week you would have seen that we did a PC build with the Ryzen 9 9950X. This week it is Intel's turn. We have the Intel Core Ultra 9 285K or 285K. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, I've had this CPU since before launch, but the problem is it arrived a couple of days before. And I don't feel like it is fair to the viewers to rush something and put out numbers when all of these companies are rushing to get new BIOSes out to improve performance and stuff last minute. I really don't think that is fair on viewers, so I chose to wait. Now with this week's PC build, I'm using the exact same GPU as last week, so I'm going to give you guys a direct comparison between the 285K and the 9950X later on in this video. And people have been having a field day with this CPU. mainly in terms of gaming performance. Productivity, it's actually pretty good, but if you compare this to the 14900K, you'll see that there is little to no gains at all. In fact, sometimes even the 14900K will beat out the 285K. And I know a lot of people have been struggling with stability issues as well, blue screening and things like that. Even my Cinebench runs, I was getting scores that were 2,000 points apart, which is very weird. And so that's why I've always said I believe that the launch of this CPU should have been delayed. However, I know over the coming months they will bring out fixes. That's kind of why I didn't really want to release anything on release date, because I know they were all scrambling. So let's see how it performs. Well guys, today I am trying one of the most unique coolers that I think I have come across that has a screen on it that is better resolution than my gaming monitor. Yes, this is the TRYX Panorama, and it's a 360 ARGB liquid CPU cooler. Now, it's called Panorama for a reason. The screen that is built into it is an OLED screen, better than my monitor, 6.5 inch, 2K display, 2K, also better than my monitor. Now this screen actually wraps around the cooler, which means that no matter where you place your PC, there are no blind spots to see your cooler. On the screen, you can actually use the Canali software, which is developed by TRYX, and you can customize it to your liking. Upload your own files and put it on there. You can do a split screen design as well. So the customization is endless. Now the fans included with these are the TRYX Rotor ARGB fans, and they have kind of like a daisy chain design. I would like to see them improve on that daisy chain design. Maybe try the connection design that a lot of companies are doing these days, because it makes it cleaner, and that way you don't actually have the cables going down the side, but it's still better than having all of the individual cables coming out which need to receive power. The radiator itself is 30 millimeters thick, and it's very high density fins, meaning that the cooling surface area is actually increased because of the density of the fins. Luckily, we have some really good static pressure fans to go on it. Now the cooler itself actually has a built-in fan on it, and the design of that is to cool the VRMs surrounding the actual CPU. So I'm very interested to see how this will tame the 285K, and we'll see some temperature results later on in the video. As promised when talking about the CPU, I did say we're going to be using the exact same graphics card as our previous build last week, and so by doing that, we're actually limiting the impact that other hardware can have on the performance. Now, I don't just want to test the gaming performance, I also want to test a little bit of productivity. I would love to put them head to head and render a 4K video and see which one can actually do it faster. The 285K is good for productivity. However, where it lacks is that gaming performance, so that's gonna be interesting putting it up against the 9950X. We already know the 4090 is fantastic at 4K gaming performance, so let's see what the benchmarks have in store for us.